I'm Tamika D. Mallory.
And it's your boy Mysonne the General.
We are your host of TMI.
Tamika and Mysonne's information, truth, motivation, and inspiration.
New name, new energy, but
same old us.
What's going on, Mysonne Lennon?
I can't complain, man. I woke up. God gave me another day to breathe, and I'm happy.
That's good. That's good. I am just finishing up several days of being with a group in Massachusetts where we have been meeting with young people and women, and we were in a beautiful wine vineyard and then also a youth center. And it's been good. You know, I feel uplifted by spending time with these really, really amazing people. So now I'm holed up in my hotel before going out to my next appointment, just trying to talk about the issues of the day. There's so much going on. And I just want to make sure we give a big shout out to the Black Effect Podcast Network. 5 years. It's been 5 years. I remember when Charlemagne hit me up and asked me, you know, he's like, you and my son are doing your podcast, right? And I said, oh, I said, yeah, we've been doing it for a few years on our own. And he said, okay, you know, I'm going to get back to you, but I think I have an idea. And when he called, and by the way, we have been pouring all our own money. There wasn't a dime. Nobody had given us anything. We were hustling. That's right. Shout out to Kat Trigg for opening up Catscape Production. She believed in us and helped us get started and invested a lot of time and resources in the beginning stages of the podcast. But I remember when we started the show, we were doing it wherever, like in an office downtown. I mean, we literally was just trying to find anywhere to record because we knew that there was a need for people like us, people who are actually every day engaged in the work, to have a platform to speak directly, you know, to the world about what we were doing. It's really hard when you're trying to get your message in a soundbite for these TV shows that may or may not call you, may or may not have you on, depends on if you're the flavor of the month. You see other people claiming your work or being on TV speaking about your work. You also see people mischaracterizing what has happened on the ground. And so I just, you know, I felt like we really needed to create a space, but I never really wanted to be in front of the camera all the time. And, you know, I'm glad that you were very persistent. Like, we have to do it. It's very important. And we did. And now, not only have we been doing our own podcast for, I guess, about 7 years now, but for 5 years, we've been a part of an incredible family, and that is the Black Effect Podcast Network. So shout out to Dolly, who really makes it happen, Taylor, and just the whole team over there. I don't want to be naming people because there's so many of them who make the machine go. And of course, to our brother Charlemagne, the guy who, you know, knows we ain't always gonna agree on every topic. He texts me, or we always debating in the group chat. Oh, why do you I don't agree? And we say the same thing about certain topics on the Breakfast Club. But it's good to know that his business model is not to control what we say. It is to really have debate where people have the ability to speak their truth, or at least to speak a truth or their truth.
Well, listen, man, to me, everybody has to have the opportunity to speak the truth. So shout out to Charlemagne, shout out to the whole Black Effect Network. You know, this work that we've done, like I told you, we have to make sure that we document and we have space, especially in this era, in this time when they're trying to silence, especially the voices that's talking about the things that we're talking about. So we definitely appreciate them. Speaking of the work that we do, I seen our brother Benjamin Crump just had a birthday, so I wanted to shout him out.
Oh, happy birthday, Ben.
We didn't shout out Ben during his birthday. That's one of the people who been with us in the trenches doing this work. A lot of people don't know. They just think Ben got his suit on and he go to the courthouse, but that man is deeply entrenched in the movement, man. And he takes on cases that he feels. It's not about money with him. It's about really getting justice for him. So, you know, he's a brother of mine. So I just want to make sure we shouted him out. As we celebrated the Black Effect Network, we had a get together, which was a beautiful get together, seeing some of the podcasts. Shout out to Lauren LaRosa, who had hosted a sit down panel, and she sat down and talked to some of the other podcasters that was there. It was a beautiful event. had some good wine, couple of snacks
Mm.
that we ate. So shout out to that.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Charlemagne continue to grow. You know, he is a personality. And like I said, we don't always agree on every topic. And so I know there are some people who are like, oh, they get to see him every day, and some of their uh commentary and or whatever they think about him, which he don't care at all. But which, sometimes I try to make him care when I'm mad. But he people need to know that the behind the scenes, this man is a very, very strong business person. And also, he has set up a number of Black women and Black people in positions to grow from their perspectives. And again, I think it's important when you have somebody who is literally empowering you, even if you are in deadlock heat disagreeing with him, but he's still making sure you have a voice and also trying to get people paid in the process. So I just, I'm very, very, very grateful for that. I want to get into my thought of the day because, I feel like we need a refresher often when you're dealing with politics, because people start running for office a year, maybe even 2 years before the actual election period. And in the middle of that, so many things happen: media intervention, surrogates, people's ideas, opinions. You meet folks on the ground who feel one way or the other about candidates. And we have to continuously circle back to remind people who some of these folks are. I don't believe that any candidate running for anything, anywhere at all is perfect, or that politics will even allow you to be the ideal human that you would like to be in your life, because there is a lot of concessions that have to be made. You can't be an effective politician without a level of compromise. Sometimes you're going to piss people off on all sides. And sometimes, quite frankly, you compromise things that you really, truly do not feel comfortable with. But if you are a strategic elected official and you're trying to get things done, you can see where there is no path in certain directions. So you have to be able to pivot and move and shake. And so I get that. So nobody has to argue with me to say, oh, well, we're looking for, and I know there's some people out there that are looking for the perfect one. And I know that doesn't exist, but there are some people whose behavior, their actions, the things that they have done, it's literally egregious. And and it is supposed to be what we say we stand against. So for my thought of the day today, I want to talk about white men who can literally get away with anything and still return, or at least try to return to power in ways that Black and brown men could never, ever do. And Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York State, is an example of that. Number one, this is a man that New York State, it is being reported, has paid almost $60 million, $60 million, to settle his sexual abuse lawsuits. You show me one Black or brown, Black or Latino man in the entire country that a state paid $60 million.
You show me one that pays
$60 million. There may be a $6 million
I haven't seen
person. Maybe there may be an elected official who's still in, because by the way, a lot
a
of these
Black man.
things, absolutely,
Okay.
because a lot of these cases get settled and most people don't even know that it happened. But we're talking about $60 million of New York State taxpayer dollars has been spent settling lawsuits from people, or with people, women who have accused Andrew Cuomo of sexual abuse or harassment, sexual assault, feeling undermined and uncomfortable in the workplace in New York State government. Now, that alone would disqualify everybody else except him and Donald Trump, which brings me to my next, and other white men. But that brings me to my next point. Andrew Cuomo, who happens to be on the legal team of Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the man that the International Criminal Courts has classified as committing war crimes against the Palestinian people. Okay? This is a man that, whether the ICC identified him or classified him that way or not, which, by the way, many other nations have joined that decision. And also, and I just heard recently that Netanyahu has to fly around, take the longer way to get to places like the United States that has not classified him that way, so that in the event that he's in the air or has to land somewhere, he doesn't land in places where they may arrest him. Okay? This is the situation. This is this man. But even if no one ever said these things about him, you and I and the majority of people that I talk to every day, just looking at him, and that includes people in the Jewish community, very conservative Jews. I've even talked to Zionists who at this point are saying that Benjamin Netanyahu, in the way that he's approaching the situation there with Israel and Palestine, is a crime. Okay, so that's it. Andrew Cuomo has the audacity to sit on the legal team to defend this man. So that's number two. $60 million, okay, in settlements to women who have claimed sexual abuse or sexual harassment. Benjamin Netanyahu's lawyer. And now the third category, and I'm sure, let's not talk about how many people died during COVID, elderly people in senior centers and nursing homes, that's the right thing. Let's not talking about him undermining the Black leadership within the state of New York by creating another group of people of color, mainly, who caucus with the Republicans to override the decisions of a Black woman by the name of Andrea Stewart Cousins, who was the speaker. Okay, let's not even get into all of the local minutia. Okay, but the last category, okay, is that this man, in addition to all of these things, his donors are pretty much, many of them, the same as Donald Trump's donors. Okay, Bill Ackman, who is one of Donald Trump's donors, okay, is also Andrew Cuomo's donor. And guess what Bill Ackman is one of the architects of? The diversity, equity, and inclusion movement that, because of it, has now put almost 400,000, and we believe even that is an undercount, of Black women out of work across the country. What y'all talking about? Oh, Mondani, he wants to give some free housing and/or freeze people's rent. He wants to build some grocery stores. He wants to change he wants to build some to give out free groceries or very low cost groceries. He also wants to do away with the gifted and talented programs in schools. Some people disagree, others agree, but I haven't heard of anything that has been said from Mondani that would give me the impression that he's aligned with Netanyahu, who y'all say he's a war criminal. I see y'all all the time. I do not see him taking money from Trump's donors, who y'all claim is the worst person in the world. That's what y'all say. And I definitely don't see him paying $60 million, or having the state pay $60 million for sexual harassment and abuse. What are we talking about?
Well, they're going to say that you're race baiting, because that's the first thing they're going to say. Oh, here we go about race. We go about race. And the reality is,
he is a white man.
No, but I'm with you. I'm just I'm getting in front of it, because that's the first thing they're going to come and say. Oh, you talking about race. Oh, y'all want to do everything is race. The reality is, as Black people, as a black man, I know that no black man can get away with what Cuomo has got away with when it comes to these $60 million and these sexual assault accusations that he actually, it's past accusations, because when you make settlements, that means that you have admitted the guilt. So that's the reality of that. And I know those things wouldn't happen. But just the mere fact that he was forced to leave being the governor based on these accusations, he had to step down, left his post, leave to try to come back a year later to say, you know what, I'm fit to be mayor. It's just crazy. That's that is the craziest shit I've ever seen. You had to leave office because the accusations against you were so strong that they said, look, we no longer think you fit to govern the city. Now you come right back to try to govern the city. It is unrealistic. And
The state. He was disqualified from
he was
governing the
from governing the
state.
state. Now you're saying you can run the city when you couldn't run the state. And just the mere fact that they keep doing shit like this to us, right? The same thing that happened with Trump. He got impeached twice, and then they come back and tell him he can run the United States of America. And we see that shit is a complete catastrophe. Now you're talking about the same donors that represent him. I mean, that are donating to Trump, donating to him. So that means that they are aligned in their
And some of their policies.
exactly.
And some of the,
We
yes,
know they're
right.
going to be. So that means they're going to be working together with them, and that means that he's going to undermine a lot of the positive things that's trying to be done inside of New York City. And it's crazy. We understand exactly what's going on, but they play with us like we stupid. And some of us act stupid. And some of us actually are stupid, but some of us know way better. We know better than to act like we don't see what we see. And we understand what they're doing. This is another implementation of Project 2025 here, where you completely destabilize everything and you run from the presidency is going to be overhauled. He is going to completely take over all these cities. There's nobody to push against him. I was watching an interview on Stephen Colbert last night with Kamala Harris, and the crazy thing that she said was it was real. He said, yo, he was talking to her and he said, yo, you pretty much predicted all of these things. You said that he would use the military against the people. You said that he would prosecute all of the people that are his political adversaries. You said that the economy would look like all these things. And she said, you know what I didn't predict, what I did not predict? The capitulation. She said, I thought there would be people who believed in democracy, who were justice warriors and people who would stand up. But I did not predict that people would capitulate like this. And it's crazy to watch it. It's crazy that you see people that you once had some little faith in just saying, you know what, I'm not gonna fight back. You know, it's crazy that we're watching that he's completely running the government like it is the mafia. And he's saying, yo, you either gonna do this, you're gonna kiss the ring, or we ain't sending no funding there. And we're gonna send the police to your state, and we're gonna have the National Guard in the streets, and we're gonna just do whatever we want. It's crazy that we actually have to watch this and see these so-called leaders just fall to their knees. It's unrealistic to me.
Yeah, well, listen, Andrew Cuomo would say he fought Trump. You know, that may be true. And, you know, I'm not saying that he didn't push back against Donald Trump. And part of the thing was people would see him on TV during COVID, and he was, you know, so good at saying where Trump was bugging, and, you
But the
know,
problem is
we're
that
not.
this is not the same Trump. See, this is what I'm trying to
No,
say.
it's not even that. It's
That
not
Trump administration and this Trump administration is completely different.
right.
This Trump administration has no respect for anyone else. He has he is going by a playbook. He has people in his cabinet right now who are hell bent on completely controlling everything. It's not the same Trump. Before there was pushback, there wasn't complete capitulation. There was people who understood that the shit that he was saying and doing was crazy and it didn't make sense, and there were people pushing back. Now, in the era of Trump capitulation, you look just like the rest of them.
Well, I would say, I'm going to say that may or may not be true, right? Because even Eric Adams, his office has sued Donald Trump and the federal government multiple times, even since he went down to Mar-a-Lago and kissed the ring. He still has sued him multiple lawsuits that's out there. So I'm not going to say they're not. But what I will say is that when you and I are taking money from the same people, there's a special interest, okay? A lot of it is these predatory developers. You have, of course, the anti-DEI people, and just outright nasty people who I'm sure if you looked really deep into some of the stuff that they have going on, it's pretty racist. It's definitely racist, sexist, and every other kind of is to be against diversity, equity, and inclusion. And these are the same people funding both of them. And so that gives you an idea that whether or not you fight Trump doesn't matter. You still agree with people who agree with him. And that should never be something that folks who sit around trying to what was it that they wanted Kamala to win because they wanted to go to a party at the White House? Or did you want her to win because you were trying to fight against authoritarianism and fascism? Because if that's the case, and then the same people that funded that man are funding this guy, there's no way that you could tell me that that makes sense. I understand that we live in a contradictory world. Like all of us, we are walking contradictions, but some stuff should be like the Holy Grail, I guess. So there's that. Okay, so let's get into the TMI today. People just doing too much. Some people have told me, no, it's just an opinion. He ain't doing too much. Stephen A. Smith. You know, I've never ever said a word about Stephen A. Smith's nonsense, right? Because I don't even really watch sports that well. I'm one of those people. I know a little bit about basketball. And I might go to a game because I like experiences, but I'm not a person who really is a sports person. Most of the time, I hear Stephen A. Smith either because a clip shows up on my social media, and I don't even listen to that, or it is because as I'm, laying in the bed, waking up, obviously the gentleman that I'm in a relationship with has it on. That's the way that I know anything or have to hear anything about Stephen A. Smith. So I've never said what people should do, should they support him or not. But I noticed that a lot of Black women, I've heard him say things that I feel it's not just nasty, but it's also wrong. Then the Kyrie Irving stuff I did pay attention to. And we're very protective of Kyrie. And so Stephen A. Smith, as far as I'm concerned, he disrespected Kyrie. I think he was wrong about what he said there as well. And I get that people get to have an opinion, but when you have a large platform and you are spewing things that are untrue and things that help to continue other attacks that's going on around people who are trying to do good, people who are trying to do the right thing, it has to be challenged at some point. So I asked the question, for Black men, at what point is there going to be a campaign that is led by Black men? At least forget about whoever else watches Stephen A. Smith, but at least that some Black men, most Black men, I would hope, would want to at least protect Jasmine Crockett, who is out here as a congresswoman, putting her life on the line every single day for us, for the people. Why do I think this is important? Well, there's a common factor between what Stephen A. Smith said about Kyrie Irving and now what he is doing with Jasmine Crockett. And the commonality is that he keeps saying, he said about Kyrie Irving, stop doing things that's going to mess up your money. Stop doing things that mess up you in there causing problems. Now he's saying Jasmine Crockett and her posture that she's taken, you need to try to work with Donald Trump. You think that just spewing insults is going to get something done. Aren't you supposed to be over there working with him to get things for your constituents, right? And he said, that ain't a day's work. You ain't doing nothing in a day if all you do is sit around and talk about Donald Trump. And that tells me the type of person that Stephen A. Smith is. He believes that Kyrie Irving getting a paycheck and making money is more important than him standing up for what he believes in and saying what Stephen A. Smith doesn't have the to say. Okay, that's what he thinks. He thinks it's better for him to, for him to just go and, as you said, capitulate in the last segment, to capitulate so he can make some money. And instead, Kyrie Irving is one of the strongest supporters of our movement, a person that you could call in a clutch and say, hey, we can't make payroll. We need money. Somebody who's willing to speak up for Palestinians, for Black Lives Matter, and for other issues that he cares about. You could never be that, Stephen A. Smith. And that's why you also don't understand that Jasmine Crockett is doing a noble job by speaking up against white supremacy, against racism. She is challenging these people. If you ever watched her on the floor at a hearing, the way in which she is prepared with facts and details to challenge these people who are criminals literally running this nation, you could never do that, because you know what? You need to get your paycheck. And so the TMI for me today is that at some point, Stephen A. Smith has to be shown, and the people who pay him have to be shown that he does not represent us, and that what he is saying, because my thing is, as a Black woman, right, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. Jasmine Crockett has delivered millions of dollars in projects to her community. She has also worked on and has introduced and has had passed a number of bills that have been important for people of color. Now, you could go Google it and sit and go through the specific bills, but she has worked on a number of issues and been a part of things that have been extremely helpful to the American people. Now, and by the way, let me just go tell you one or two, because I don't want nobody to say, oh, well, I don't know. I don't know exactly. And let's be clear. This is not just as a United States congressperson. She also was a local legislator in Texas, and she delivered on behalf of her people. And guess what? She got reelected. So obviously the folks in her district, the people in Texas, believe that this woman is out there fighting on our behalf. But somebody has to have the to speak up and to speak truth to power in front of these people and not be afraid or not be too caught up in the politics of it all and the money of it all, to speak up for our folks and let us see the difference between the truth and the lie. And Jasmine Crockett is out here speaking the truth. And I believe that as Black men, we need a movement from Black men that's led by people who actually pay attention to anything that Stephen A. Smith says, to just let people know. I'm not saying that there needs to be some all-out boycott. That's not my place to say, but or not for me to say. But I believe that there absolutely needs to be something done to let Stephen A. Smith know, you can talk all you want, but when you start attacking Black women who could literally die, there's death threats against this woman's life every day, and you're sitting up here adding your voice to that, whether you think so or not, that's a problem for me. But you know, there's people who reached out to me and said, oh, well, maybe you should just go on his show and talk about the issues. That's fine. If he wants to invite me to come and talk about Jasmine Crockett's her legislative accomplishments, we can do that. But the main thing is that after a while, it becomes too much when you are just allowing somebody, this is my opinion, to just sit and still be invited to the cookout. But every time you turn around, they add their voice to the nonsense, the disrespect, and the disrespect that is happening to people who look like us, and particularly a Black woman who gets up every day fighting for us.
Listen, everything you say, I mirror those sentiments. You know, it's unfortunate because last week I actually did, a post about Stephen A. Smith, and it wasn't even about this issue. It was about, him just talking about politics and him talking about how people, like you said, need to capitulate to Trump. It wasn't just Jasmine Crockett. And it was just like, why would you utilize your voice as a man who does sports to talk about capitulating to Trump? You never call, you basically always act like what Trump is doing is right. I'm not going to say anything about Trump. I'm not going to say this, but he utilized his voice to talk about, the Super Bowl. He was mad about them sending ICE to the Super Bowl. But prior, he had said that he thought it was okay to send ICE, that they needed to get rid of the immigrants to that. Biden had did so much wrong, and that's the reason why the ICE needed to be, and he was okay with it. But he had an issue with them sending ICE to the Super Bowl because it inconvenienced him. And he wanted to be able to sit there and watch, the Super Bowl in peace. So they can get rid of the immigrants anywhere else, but not at the Super Bowl. So that didn't make sense to me, because as a black man, you understand that they send ICE to communities that look like us, with skin color like us, that have the same realities that you come from. So I didn't understand that. But the thing is, Stephen A. Smith has a long history of this. We talk about Kyrie. We talk about what he said about LeBron's son, and he's constantly been disrespecting that man. We talk about even the other day where Serena Williams' husband had to check him because he talked about her. We talk about what he said about Jaylen Brown. We can go on and on about how he's always utilized his voice to disrespect other black people. And what he said is he capitulates. He won't talk about the white people and organizations that do anything wrong. He finds the silver lining. He finds the politically correct thing to say about them. But he has no problem disrespecting black people. And now when you talk about this Jasmine Crockett situation, it's like, I guess, it's overflowing. It's getting to a point. And I said, I don't want to argue and beef with other black people, but you have to call them in, because at this point, he's detrimental, and they see him as a black person who speaks for us, and he speaks about what's going on in our communities, and it's not a good representation. Jasmine Crockett is one of the most fearless fighters that we have, who are pushing back against an administration. You try to make people work with somebody that doesn't want to work with them, that has shown that they don't have any level of
civility,
disability, anything to work with somebody. So you're asking us to act like we don't know that we being disrespected. You asking us to go in there and kiss the ring like you probably would do it. Everybody is not like that, Stephen A. Smith. So I definitely agree with you. Especially as a black man, I think that there should be some type of come to Jesus moment with Stephen A. Smith. Sometimes we got to sit around. We might have to have a meeting as black men and tell him how what he does is detrimental. And hopefully it might change his mind, but I don't really see it. I think he's too far gone at this moment. I think Stephen A. Smith has made a decision that his paycheck is the most important thing to him. So, and also his views. So he realizes that as long as he says something that's anti-black people, that's anti what he believes is democratic right now, that's where the algorithm is. He probably wants to see if he can run for office. He stepped into a political realm now, so he's no longer just a sports analyst anymore. He has this Straight Shooter podcast that he goes on. He talks about all these political things. So this is intentional. So he's really just trying to get in the algorithm, and he's utilized black people, and he understands that Jasmine Crockett is one of the most hottest up and coming political voices right now. And he wants to find a way to get into that algorithm. So it's disrespectful. I'm glad that you called him out, because I'm going to always call him out. But the reality of the situation is we can't, as black people, just continuously sit by and watch our people's voices be utilized against us. It just can't keep happening. You talking about the cookout. You can't keep coming to cookout when you bring in the white people's potato salad. It ain't gonna work. Nah, especially when you ain't white. You can't come with the white people's potato salad and bring in nothing else all the time. You always come with the stale ass potato salad, and we tired of hearing it. We tired of potato salad, Stephen A.
Well, it is what it is. I think that Stephen A. Smith at this point is
I
not
would
just
love to see you go up there and tear his ass up. Go up there and tear his ass up, because he need it.
It's no longer an opinion. At this point, I believe it's intentional disinformation, misinformation.
Yeah,
So,
sabotage,
yeah.
misinformation. Like this has always been the tool of the oppressor, to use another black person. That's what they do. Even when we talk about the HBCU situation now, that Blexit wants to send other black conservatives in there to spew their white talking point. This is what they do, and we have to stand up and say we're not going to deal with it. It's not okay.
All right, so we have an interview coming up with a young woman that I was really kind of hesitant, because I didn't want to expose her. Her name is Sharel Jones, and she fought her way out of very serious addiction to drugs, addiction to alcohol, homelessness or houselessness, losing her children, so much. And I was like, oh my God, I don't think that if we put her on the air, like, are people going to now know this story of this woman who does not look like what she's been through? But she is so committed to using her story to help heal others. And This is probably one of the most important interviews that we've done on this show. So please check out an interview that we previously taped. We taped it last week with Sharel Jones of I Used to Be You.
All right, so today we are, as we've already been talking about during this show, talking about disparities in terms of women's health, and particularly something that I don't think we talk about enough, and you and I've already said this, but just that, when people look at those of us who have suffered with addiction, the thing that they don't often understand or realize is how little culturally competent services there are to really help people who look like us. And so, one day I was in the hair salon and I was, having a conversation. I have no idea how this came up, but I met this sister, Sharel Jones, who is joining us today. And you, yes. Told me her story that she was 10 years sober at that point. 10 years, no drinking, no nothing, just nothing, just completely clean system. I don't know about cold turkey, but a clean system.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, she was talking about her sister and how her sister really had to fight to help her get the services that she needs, and how difficult it was. But I know that, for many of us, we're not going to go to the local methadone clinic, right? We're not going to go to the local hospital to get the service that we need, especially if we're somebody that does not look like your average person who's addicted. And so to know that you started a foundation and it's called I Used to Be You.
Yes.
It feels like these are the types of services that when we're in a time that this administration, the federal government, particularly, the federal government has made a decision to defund addiction services. And meanwhile, people like you need the money to really have the type of budgets and resources necessary so that you could go out and help people who are they're not going to turn, like I said, to the local clinic. They're going to need to be in a space with somebody who they trust, someone who they believe in, and a person and people, right, who have experience and can respect their confidentiality, but moreover, provide them with a space that's more than just getting off the drug, but also trying to heal some of the things that's going on the inside. So anyway, we've been talking about this already, just as a part of this particular episode. And I'd love to hear more from you, Sheryl. Thank you, first of all, for joining the TMI show, just about, I Used to Be You. How did that come to be? And not just like when did you start the organization, but just your overall story of who you are and how you come to this space. I don't know if you wanted to say something before we get started.
You can let her start with that.
First, thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure.
I have been, and remember how it started. We were talking to a young lady about autism. And we told her to go ahead and start it.
Yes,
and
start her program.
I said, so how do I start this? And
yes.
I showed you my picture. Prior to that, like you said, we have the same hairdresser. I reached out to her. She said she's so busy, but trust me, your time is going to come. And the way God works,
you would just be at the hair salon
when you can. He works in mysterious ways. I first became addicted to alcohol at the age of 14. At 16, it was cocaine. At 18, it was crack cocaine. And at 24, 25, it was heroin. It came from trauma. It came from molestation. I was molested from the age of 6 to 12 every summer for 6 years straight. Prior to using drugs, I could smell his breath. I could hear his voice. I couldn't sleep. I would rebel. Both my parents were addicts. Raised by my grandma. And I was introduced to alcohol. And when I drank the alcohol, it warmed me.
You didn't hear these voices.
No, it warmed me. It warmed my body. And heroin, crack cocaine was the love I thought I didn't have. And heroin was the hug I needed. Right? So the more I used, the more it became numb. I didn't care that I was raised by my grandma. I didn't care that I heard my mother tell a judge that I don't want these kids. You know, I'm signing my rights over as a parent. You know what I mean? At 14 years old, I just remember saying to my father's wife at the time, oh, I'm never going to be like my mom. I'm never going to use drugs. I'm never going to have children and leave them because of drugs. And I did the exact same thing.
How many kids you have?
3. 19, 18, and my youngest is going to be 13 in November. Raised with 3 different family members. One is with my dad, one is with my aunt, and one is with my sister. You spoke about my sister and how she helped me. Mind you, I've been to every drug program in New York, every rehab. When it gets cold, that's where I run. I do minor crimes so I could just go to Rikers for a little bit of time because it's cold outside. Never because I wanted to stop using drugs. I never had the desire to stop using drugs because, again, it numbed all pain. All pain. When I tell you, man, I was 6 and I felt a man's private. 6. Now, this is family. We're talking about family. You know, grown man, not a teenager. We're talking about grown. And then I have, you know, other issues. You know, my mom doesn't want me. My dad is remarried. I get pregnant at 16. I have to have an abortion. I'm still sent away to North Carolina
Even though
I had the abortion.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like,
so the abortion was by the person?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So this
the abortion, mind you, I was 16, he was 14. I didn't know, you know, the age. He was in my school all the time. I thought that it wasn't until afterwards. So I felt like crap anyway afterwards. And I was put in a position, listen, you can't stay here with a baby. You know, and would I do that? No. Do I understand? Yes. Definitely get it. Definitely get it wholeheartedly. Would I do that to any one of my sons? No. Just because I know the type of pain it causes. Causes pain. In and out of prison, in and out of jail, psych wards. And I have mental health issues too. I take mental medication every day. And we talked about that. We talked about that day. And it's not a day that goes by that I don't take it. I have to take my medication. I have to, because if I don't, I hear the voices. I smell the breath. I remember those things, you know, but it's not harshly, if that makes any sense. My medicine helps cope
the right way
with it the right way.
Wow.
So what was the process? When did you say to yourself, I'm going to stop getting high? Because I can't. Okay, so you didn't say that.
My sister made me.
She made you.
Yes.
Because you know, when I'm listening to your story, it sounds similar to my mother's story.
Okay.
You know, she had me at 6, but I think she started getting high later. I mean, she started with beer and weed,
like
and
me.
then next thing you know, it was coke, and then by the 80s, it was crack. So I've seen the trajectory of it.
Right.
And I think I made her stop. You know, I just think it was a lot of situations that I was dealing with in my community and having to fight the drug dealers and all type of shit, to where it was like she realized that either they was going to kill me or I was going to kill her, one of them. And she said to me that's when she just said she wanted. So your sister pretty much forced you.
And I had kids by this time. So not even, let me tell you something. And my children know this because I'm an open book to my kids. When I got clean, my sons was 9, 8, and 2. So I have been an open book. I even interviewed them. I have an interview with them that I had on YouTube, but I took it down because family issues, right? So I kept each one of my kids for different reasons. My first son was like, okay, here's my second chance at life. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get off drugs. I'm gonna do it. Same thing with my son, with my second son. And with my third son, he was my get out of jail free card. That judge said, you and that baby going to prison. Never forget.
Who's that ringing?
It was mine.
I'll never forget that, ever. And that's where I had him, in Rikers. And then he went with me to Bedford Hills Correctional Facility.
Wow. How long do the children get to stay?
A year. I was actually on NBC News in 2013, March, because nobody knew, well, very few knew that Rikers had a nursery. And you can keep your baby with you for 1 year. And when you go up to Bedford Hills, it's the same thing.
So one more year or
one
a
more
full
year? One full year, and if you have to go upstate, then
1 year from the day you
yes.
walk in, it's 1 year.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I had him, and then my sister had to come get him because I got in trouble there, and she had to come get him. And then I caught a robbery, and they were offering me 6 to 12 years. And I told my sister, I said, well, I'm going to just take it. You know, if they give me 6 flat, I'll take it. I know how the system works.
Yeah.
I told my lawyer, give me a 6 flat. See, I could go up north and I can be high, I can do what I don't got to take care. I don't got no responsibility in the world. Not that I had some anyway, but just in case. I'm going here, I'm comfortable here, I know how to move up here, I'll be fine. My sister wasn't having it. Because even through my addiction, my sister would come to the streets of Harlem, come try to find me. Oh, come with me, just come eat. Or come take a bath, or just sit out there with me. Like, I remember she went into a crack spot and they had her at gunpoint. Like, you have to take your sister with you or we're going to kill her out here. And before we do that, just take her with you, because I was a nuisance. I was just that bad. Everything was about drugs and alcohol. I didn't bathe. I ate out of garbage cans. My whole pregnancy with my son, I didn't even bathe at all. Like, the water you see on the streets, on the curbs, I would drink that water because I was thirsty. I would eat out of garbage cans. I would sleep in elevator shafts. So my sister just was like, yo, you don't want to give yourself a chance? And I'm like, if I go up north, I could get... She said, you keep talking about going up north because you just want to get high. That's all you want to do. You need a program. I said, well, if you find me a program, I'm taking my son. She was like, no, you're not, because he don't smoke crack. She said, I'll take him from you first. You already had him in prison. Now you want to drag him through a drug program? And I'm like, that's the only way I'm going. She said, I bet you it's not. And she fought, and she fought, and she fought. So the judge took the 6 years off the table. She took it off. Took it off the table. And she said, it's a young lady fighting for you. But I want you to fight for you. And I never forget it. And I just was like, bruh, I don't want to do this. I went back. They called for a second call. And the older ladies in the back was telling me, if you go to a program and you graduate, you get money. And that's what made me say, okay. I went to the program October 22nd, 2015. August 13th, 2015 is my clean date. And from that day on, I never used drugs again. October, I went to the program, but I went to the program with a facade. I was the drug dealer. I didn't have a problem. And I caught a case. That's why I'm in the program, right? On December 17th, 2015, it was snowing. And I was sitting in the window. And I said, God, this can't be it. If you really... Because I always knew there was a God. I just lost my faith. Because of everything that happened. There's no way I'm supposed to go through that as a 6-year-old child. There's no way my parents are supposed to give up on me. But when you got parents in recovery, that come first. That come first. And at the time, I didn't know.
That's what you were saying. Yeah. Your dad's
at the time,
like,
he's like,
couldn't
no,
stay here
you can't
with that.
stay here.
Not with that.
You can't come here? No. I sent you away to get right. And I had people in North Carolina that, as long as I graduated high school, I would have had a house and a car. My Aunt Lean told me that as soon as I got there. And I'm like, whatever. But she was telling the truth. But I'm like, in my brain, I'm going back to the city first chance I get. And I'm playing all of this date, December 17th, 2015. I'm playing it, the tape.
Of your life.
Of my life. And I'm crying. And I'm screaming. And I'm shaking. And I'm rocking. And I'm
this
just
is
like.
After you have been sober since August already.
Right.
Because you got to stay sober to get to the money.
Right.
From the program.
Right.
Right. Okay, good.
So I'm just like, God, if you just take the taste.
That's it.
Just the taste.
That's it.
That's all I need you to do. I'm going to do everything else.
That's it.
I'm going to stop lying, manipulating, being conniving, robbing, stealing. And I'm going to try to be the best woman I can be so that I can be the mother that I know I could be. And since that day.
Since then. That's the real
That's
day.
the real day.
Yeah.
Since December 17th, 2015. That's the day that I decided that I would never pick up a drug again as long as I can help it.
Wow. So, how is the relationship with your kids now? Like, what is that? Because I'm asking these questions because just being a young child, watching your mother go through those things is a lot of trauma in it.
Yes.
It's a lot, and just listening to you, like you were in a state to where you just completely gave up.
Yes.
Like you saying you was in the streets and elevator shafts, eating out the gut, like you had completely lost. It's amazing to see you here like this.
That's right.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? That's the amazing. Just knowing that you somehow pulled yourself back out of that to be this right now.
God's mercy.
Nothing but that. But so talk about that situation with your children.
So I did 17 months in the program. After the program, before the program, my sister told me I could never come back and stay with her. So December, 17 months into the program, I called my sister like, hey, there's nothing more the program could offer me. I got a job, I got certificates, there's nothing more they could give me. They're going to give me a referral to the shelter. And she said, shelter? You coming home? And I'm like, I'm coming home. That's all I needed. Because I didn't want to go to nobody's shelter. I knew my sister was my person. Like, anybody in recovery need that one person. And my sister was my person. And she's still my person. Like, that's my person. So she was like, now what do you want to do? I said,
God, come closer so you can hear.
I want to first do mental health. I got to get that under. I got to take my meds every day. Things like that. Got to get that right. Because I can't go to them broken. Because my trauma going to leak on them. So I can't go to them broken, but I still wanted them. So I was like, I'm going to get mental health services and I'm going to get all my kids. And she was like, girl, what? Get what kids? The kids that we got? She was like, you don't even know them kids. I was like, but I could get to know them. She said, well, you got to start somewhere. I said, I will once the judge I said, because I got everything. I got every certificate, completion, everything. She was like, it doesn't work that way. And I was pissed at her. I was hurt.
Yeah, because they holding your kids.
They have them. And, oh, y'all don't want to give me back my babies. Why? But then when I asked my children, and they told me no.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
My sister was like, I would get the kids. They would come to my sister's house. And then it just so happens a year later, after the program, I got my very first apartment. Never had an apartment before in my life. It was a studio.
Because you went from home to the street.
Yes.
So where did you live? Before you go back, we're going to go back.
I lived with my grandmother.
No. When you left the house and just got to the point where you were completely strung out.
So at 16, my grandfather sent me back with my grandmother that raised me in North Carolina. I stayed there till I was 18.
And you used drugs there, too, in
That's
North Carolina.
That's where I started. I started with a 39-year-old man that I was dating. Yes. I left at 18. because the beatings, I'm dark, so you can't really tell, but I know I got this knot in the back of my head.
From
I know,
him?
yes. I know my ribs are hurting. I know that my private is torn from the abuse, the sexual abuse. I knew that this wasn't it. So when I came back, I asked my dad, can I come home? And he said no. I thought he was playing. He's like, no, you can't come here. At that time, I didn't know it was because, girl, you're an addict. You can't come live here with me.
Wow. That's
I'm
deep.
in recovery. I get it now, though. So from that point on, from 18, I lived with a young lady named Kimberly that I met at Bronx Regional High School. 2 days I met her. Told her I had nowhere to go. I stayed there with her for about a year. From 19 on, I was just either in the street, at my sister's house for a couple of days, rehab, jail, or a program.
Wow.
It's deep.
It's really deep when you just think about it. But tell me, so
when my sons was coming, they would come over for the weekend, couple of days, things like that. I sat all of my kids down. And I said, how would y'all like it if we all lived together?
Because they don't really know each other at this point either that well. They do, but
Right,
they don't.
right,
So it's
right.
like all foreign.
Right.
It's not just you.
It's
It's
not
like
me,
now
it's
you telling
everybody.
me
I
I'm.
got brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
got
too many
it's
things.
all of us gonna hold up. Wait a minute, I gotta share my stuff now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
No,
You
wait a
don't
minute.
got no money.
Right, you don't got no money. Everybody got their own room, so we gonna be in this studio with just this one bed and this couch, and this is how we gonna live until I'm able. Or we could go to the shelter, and they was like, they looking at me while I'm explaining this to them, like, girl, you done lost your mind. We don't even know you. So when I tell you I had to get to know my kids, I had to learn favorite colors, favorite cereal, who don't eat what. It was so many times I messed up. Like, Mom, not the one that don't eat the cheese. It's this one. And, oh, God. All right, hold on. Let me get it right. So it was we had those moments. And I gave my kids 30 days. Everybody got, all right, I'm going to give y'all 30 days to give me a chance to be you guys' mom. You guys could say yes or no. And in the beginning, my middle son was like, you my mom, of course. My youngest son was like, of course, Mommy, he don't know. But I still explained to him everything. My oldest one was the, you always say this. He was the one that remembered.
Because he had gone through a lot.
He had gone through a lot. When I used to, like, get him, I would get drunk and fight on my family members and try to take him and he remembered.
So was he what? Okay, wait a minute now. So which one of them was the one that you went through being the most addicted with, or was
My
it all
first
three
one.
of them? Oh, it was the first one.
My first
so
one,
did you
I smoked up until the day my water broke till I walked into Harlem Hospital.
And what was he like as a result of that?
Nothing was wrong with my baby.
Wow.
Nothing is wrong with my baby. He's a high school
Wow.
graduate. He wants to be this rapper now.
No, well, that's not, they're all that.
Oh, God.
And I didn't do no,
And it was,
I,
look,
I
and
didn't do
before
any
it
of
was-
that while I was pregnant.
He wanted to be
and
the-
he wants, he is an artiste.
Yes, that's what he
Period.
said. So, before it was, everything was basketball, LeBron, and I got to be basketball, and I'm going to make it. And then one day he just was like, oh, I wrote this song. And I'm like, okay. I said, but I think you should just write, like, your story. Tell your story. And that's where he at now.
That's what.
But nothing is wrong
I'm
with
not
my
mad
baby.
at
My
him.
middle son, I got clean with him when I was 7 months.
So you did use.
Yes, I used all the way up until I was 7 months. Arion, which is my last one. So Nazaya, Malik, and Arion. Nazaya is 19, Malik is 18, and Arion will be 13 in November. Arion, I only got high for 13 weeks because I got locked up and found out that I was pregnant.
Wow.
But I had to go on methadone. So I had to wing off the methadone in order to keep him in the nursery. 'Cause
Wow.
you can't be on methadone
With a,
with a baby in the nursery. So as I'm getting to know my sons, it was challenging. A lot of tears, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of I can't take this.
from everybody.
From everybody, from all three.
So eventually you say, okay,
Yes,
it is
eventually I say yes.
It's
Eventually
better
when
to
they
fuck.
tell me no, when I ask them and they say no, the thing with them was they couldn't leave who they were with. My son was, I can't leave Papa. My middle son was, my Aunt Jet. I can't. And then my youngest was like, my Uncle Troy? Oh, no, I can't. Maybe you could just come live with us again. That's what his thing was. You could come live with us. Because he was, at the time when I asked him, he was only 4. So he was like, no. So now, them my babies. And they don't see nothing but their mother.
You close
Because
to them.
I kept it open. When I got my pictures and all the stuff that I was showing you, I showed them. I let them know that I used to prostitute, that I used to, I'm talking about $1, 50 cents, whatever I had to do while I was active in addiction. I told them because I never wanted no one to walk up to my sons and say, you know your mother.
Did this, that, and the
You
third.
know your mother.
Yeah.
They can say, if that happens, they can say,
Yeah,
she
I know.
told me.
Yeah, she told me.
That ain't who she is today, though.
That's right.
So that, what we have, unbreakable. Unbreakable.
So when did you start your organization?
This year, actually.
Okay.
So before I even thought about it, for 4 years, I've been going out in my community
Yeah, you did
to
say
feed
yeah.
and clothe homeless mental health addicts. I go on my social media platform. I put my Cash App up. And I say, hey, y'all, because I got like 40-something thousand followers on TikTok, 15 here on this app. So I ask and they provide old clothes. Some make meals. They drop it off, send food, they send cash. And I have my team is my 3 sons. Well, now it's my 2 sons because my youngest son is in North Carolina with my sister. They moved. So it's my 2 sons, my aunt, and my cousin. And we go out every month and we give back.
So when you out there, I know that you basically have been pretty much homeless.
Right.
So there's a connection. Do you feel scared? Do you feel like you connected to these people when you out there doing this work? Like,
Yes, I feel very much connected. Scared, no. And my thing is, right, it's never to tell no one what to do with their life, especially while you're using. You don't want to hear that because I know I didn't, right? But my thing is, if I could provide a change of clothes and a meal, because those garbage cans get empty.
Damn.
Those coats get sold, right? I've sold a coat off my back in 2-degree weather with a wife beater on under, with nothing but socks on, because my boots went first. Or stuff that my sister bought me. So I know, you know how it goes. So scared, no. I feel connected, like I said.
Well, with people who have mental health issues, like I'm the type of person, I'll pull money out and give money to people or go feed them or take them around here and go. I'm one of them kind. I'm one of the kinds, if you tell me you hungry and I don't got time to stop, I'm giving you I don't give $3 and $2. I'm a person try $10. And I used to dig and shuffle.
Right.
But I stopped doing all of that because clearly we not in that type of time.
No more.
Number one. And 2, people's mental health be so bad. Sometimes they just freak out.
Right.
And then it's like, I'm by myself. I don't know. And I'm going to tell you something, Sheryl. It really makes me feel guilty because sometimes I'm ignoring people. Sorry. Sometimes I'm not ignoring them, but like I'm that person. I want to give. I want to help. I want to figure it out. And since I don't do it as much, and I can't say I don't do it at all, but I don't do it as much. It makes me feel guilty. Like I'm no longer doing my service to mankind.
Well, your service is more than the money you can give. Pray for them. God, please help them find clarity in whatever they're going through, right? Because eventually the money goes, but He hears those prayers all day long. And if He hear it from multiple people, what you think gonna happen after that? So the $10 goes quickly. Because we may get a bag of chips or juice, and
But
then
the
our
rest
drug of
is
choice,
drug. Mhm.
right? Because it's our drug of choice. Like this lady told me, "Oh, I would never give my money." I said, and that's the difference between me and you. I work hard for my money, and I'm gonna give it to whoever I want to give it to, and what they do with it is on them.
That's their issue.
That's their issue. It's not mine. But don't ever feel guilty. Don't ever feel guilty, because let me tell you this. Although nobody wakes up and say, I want to be an addict today, we choose to still be stuck. It's a lot of help out there where it was.
It's definitely. Well, it was better.
It was better.
It was better. And now we going
now we
backwards.
Because the programs now, since they're not funded enough, it's not a therapeutic community anymore. It's harm reduction.
And,
yes, and methadone. It's harm reduction. So I went to a therapeutic community where I was in there 17 months. They didn't give us that. You had to come there clean. You couldn't come to the program dirty. So if you had to go to detox, rehab, then the program, then fine. That's what you had to do.
There's a difference between detox, the program, and then...
Because detox is going to clean me out. Detox is
Tell
going to
me about your
off.
detox experiences.
So my detox experiences only came 2 times from heroin. Once when I was pregnant.
That's terrible.
Baby.
That'll kill you.
Baby.
Because that's what Percocets and all of Xanax is different, but it's still kind of like the same. The recovery, I didn't take the Suboxone because they said that if I took the Suboxone, I could get addicted to it. So I needed to try something else. So, I went to one of these fancy white people, nothing but white people, very, $80,000 a year programs. Not a year, a period, whatever the program time is. It was $80,000. And they gave me medicines every day that took away the symptom, like the withdrawal stuff.
Yes.
But I never, and then it was weaned down. So they start me at 7 pills, then 6, then 5, then 4, 3, and I probably hovered somewhere around 3 for a while until I could get up and just not have the need. Because I was saying the same thing, just take the taste. That's all I need is to get the taste. Because that taste, like, first of all, what I try to explain to people is that when you take pills, this hand to mouth is a part of the, like not addiction, but it's a habit.
Yes.
It's a habit, just going like this, popping them. So now when you don't have that to do every few hours, then it's kind of like anxiousness of, what am I going to do now?
Anxiety
What do I replace it with? I mean, there's so much that goes into the mental psyche. Yes. So you have to get yourself to just not want it.
That's it. That's it.
So you were talking about the detox that you went to.
I went to detox when I was pregnant with Arion because I was a heroin addict then. And they winged me off. They started me off at 100 milligrams all the way down to 5. And then after 5, that was it. But when I did it in Rikers, when I got locked up, man, you talking about using the bathroom on yourself. You can't control
nothing.
You're cold, you're hot, you're crying, your body hurt. Because
that's what I'm saying.
And it's only because in Rikers, they say, go to the methadone. I'm holding mine. I'm holding mine. Because when I get back to my dorm, I got to spit that in the cup. And I'm going to give that to you. And then you're going to buy me what I want from commissary.
So you're not even getting the full kit.
No. And that's why I'm detoxing in there. Because I ain't taking what I was supposed to take. And not that I needed it. Not that I needed it.
Because you got over it.
Because, no, not that I needed the commissary. Because, again, my sister.
She was doing stuff. So what did you do? Use the you just like to gather up stuff. Hoard
up stuff. Be that person in jail. Because I'm that person. I got this, I got that, I got this. And if I got to go through this withdrawal for a couple of days, then that's fine. I'm going to fight through that because I know how to do it.
So you actually, you didn't even realize that you was detoxing.
I did.
So,
But I had to play it off because I didn't want to get nobody in trouble.
mm,
You got to play that off because we call methadone. You always on the line. So how you even going through that? Because we know it's enough because we know how many milligrams we give you.
So why would you still
Why
be
would you
shaking?
So why you still shaking? Why your stomach still hurt? Why you still got diarrhea? Why you still...
yeah, we gave you that to kill all of that, and
We gave you that to help you with all of that.
But I think methadone, like when I think about methadone, I see it being so like I see people at the methadone clinic, and I'm like, you look fucked up. So I'm trying to understand
because
how
we
is it.
Still using the heroin with the methadone.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it is.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
So
what
they
it
mixing
is.
it all.
It's the addict in you. It's the addict in you.
What does the methadone do?
Same thing heroin does.
Jesus
Same exact
Christ.
thing.
No.
It's just a liquid.
No.
No, yes. It's just a
Wow.
liquid. Just a liquid, I promise.
But it obviously has something because you
See,
can taper it down.
Right.
So
it started off, that started off as for pain.
methadone?
Yes. That's a pain management medication.
Wow.
See, our bones be hurting.
Yeah, oh, you
With
know.
the
Yo, I'm telling you.
Yo.
I know about
Girl,
this.
I'm
Them
talking
bones,
about your kneecaps. You like,
everything.
yo,
the
everything.
restless legs and then your back, your arms.
Yes.
I've been through all of that, and I never took heroin a day in my life, but I know them Percocets feel
It's the same.
exactly
Yes.
the same.
Yes.
Your body, the stomach cramps.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
It is horrible with the agitation.
Please.
Anyway.
Like you were saying, you got to do something with your hands. So especially when I put cigarettes down, because the cigarettes didn't feel right anyway, because I only use the cigarettes when I'm drinking or getting high. I had to stop scratching cards because I associated that with that. It was to a point where I was popping. My sister would go grocery shopping and buy me 2 cases of Pepsi on Thursday. By Saturday, I only got 2 cans left.
Because you just drinking
Just
them.
popping them. Because I like the Not that I like Pepsi. Pepsi's good.
So
but
you just have an addictive nature,
yeah.
and that's
So, and that's why I
and
can't
that's
be
when you
one of
realize
those.
you're an addict.
Right.
You can't drink
I can't be one of
alcohol.
those to drink. I can't drink Friday, Saturday, socially. I can't do
Because
anything.
Monday you drinking
Because-
again. You would
no, Monday.
Because I'm drinking
Because
all
Friday,
day.
if I drink on Friday I'm smoking crack and I'm sniffing heroin.
be. That's it.
Damn.
That's it.
The
That's
same
the
day.
same
That's
day.
it.
We
Same
talking
day.
about. I'm taking that shot of Georgie vodka. I'm drinking a St. Ives. I'm going to where I know. And 2 months from now, I have the same thing on. I just don't have no jewelry. I'm 10 shades darker, and I'm 100 pounds lighter.
Damn. That's real to
That's
know.
my nature.
To know that.
That's
to
my
understand
nature.
that.
And I had to come with grips that I'm an alcoholic before anything. I don't pick up the alcohol. I don't pick up the drug. I don't go to jail.
So,
That's a simple.
no,
That's simple.
It's really simple.
It's just that simple. Because I have to, because it get cold out there. The tricks stop coming. So now I have to rob. And I have to steal. I done robbed the tricks, so now they don't even want to deal with me. Or I done got so skinny and so, it's like, nah, not you, I want her. So where now I gotta rob this one, steal from this one, act like I'm gonna get clean so my sister could come get me, act like I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and I'm stealing from her. Come on, I took my son, I was in the shelter with my son, I took his chain off his neck. So, like, I'm telling you, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of this, all of it pretty much stems from the childhood trauma
Yes.
of the being raped and abused.
Well, not raped, I was
Well, not
molested.
raped, molested.
Right. He
Molested.
never penetrated me.
penetrated.
He just made sure that he released himself on me.
So there was no
It
penetration.
almost like penetration might have been better, right? Like,
Right.
Because, that is so demoralizing.
Because I've been beat, I've been raped, I've been sodomized. I would rather go through that than to go through that as a child.
I could tell.
As a child.
So
That's
how are you in a relationship?
Yes.
And how is that? How is that now? Like, because I know it has to be your relationships with men just didn't see. It seemed like it caused all of these things.
So this is the first time I'm not being mentally, emotionally, or physically abused. Right? To where I think this is not normal. Are you faking?
When is it gonna happen?
We almost got 9 years in.
Wow.
It's the first person I've been with in my life that there's no fights. There's no, if I say I don't feel like having sex tonight, I don't have to. If I say I didn't cook tonight, I don't got to worry about getting bashed upside my head. This is the first time. So sometimes he says, like, why do I always have to start? Yeah. So he tells me, and this was actually 2 days ago. He said, why do I always have to initiate sex? I said, I'm 41 years old and I don't know how. I don't know how. I had sex when I was 16. I lost my virginity at 14, which was 2 seconds. At 16, I had sex again and got pregnant. At 16, I was in a relationship with a 39-year-old, and it was just on top of me, took care of what he had to take care of, and that was it, whether I wanted to or not. And then I was with a girl, and I thought that I wanted to be with her, and she was an addict, and she passed away from an overdose, and then it was him. Yeah. So I don't know.
You don't know normal relationship.
I don't know normal. So we travel and we do, and even when we traveling, it's just like, okay, I know I want to, but how do I? It's weird for me.
The therapist that you need to be talking to every week, but did you talk about that?
No, right now we in, because I'm going through separation anxiety.
From who?
My sister. She moved to North Carolina.
Right. And that's your person.
That's my person. And she got my nephew, her first baby, and that's my baby. And my son. So it's like, and you in the same state that this happened to me. So when I go see you, I can't even stay with you long like I want to. Because even though I take my medication, that doesn't stop the feeling that, whew, when I hear I'm going to Tarboro, it's like, oh, I tense up. My sister there, so I got to be right for my sister. I don't never want her to worry about me or think she made the wrong decision. You made the right decision for them kids. Like she told me, you got this. I did my part with you. You got this.
You said how long you been clean out?
August 13th made 10 years.
So you and your therapist are into the separation anxiety, and that's exactly right, because my therapist and I were in letting go. Right. And I cried, because the way in which he was describing me back to myself.
Crazy, right?
It was really like, oh, like I do that.
Yes,
I do that.
Yes.
He's like, you killing yourself from thinking that you could just manage
everything.
This big old thing. And he was like, I can help you identify pieces that's killing you.
Yes. So even before the separation, I had to learn how I gotta forgive my father.
Godly.
It's better to be like, no, I don't mess with him.
Right. But you have to have relations. Then your grandmother, and she didn't really know that this was happening to you.
No, she didn't know. I didn't say nothing. Only person I told, again, my sister.
Your sister.
That's
and
it.
Then and before, because I know we've been talking for so long, we could do this for 2 days. I know you had mentioned to me that colorism was an issue, right? And I think for me, in all families, I think there's a bit of that you being a darker skinned individual, you felt different.
I felt different. And I'm with certain family members.
Certain people.
Right. In my family.
Yeah.
Mess with her. That's the dark one. You know what I mean? And then it was because of different situations. So my sister was left in the hospital. We had the same mother, same father. She was left in the hospital. I was with my mother for 2 years.
Oh,
my first 2 years. But the drugs, you know what I mean? I had to heal from that.
So you've been in therapy. It's been
one situation after another to where I couldn't even get to my relationship.
Ain't had sex
I'm not
yet.
even that.
But you know what? You might want to jump
no, we've
down
had
to
sex.
that. But no, I
we've
know
had
that.
sex,
I'm talking
but
about the therapist.
Yeah, to therapist.
You should probably tell the therapist we'll go back
because
to some of the other stuff.
Like, every time we talk about your sister, why you always crying? And I'm like, because I can't believe she just up and left. And she's like,
you crazy. This girl got to go on life. That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Maybe if you get the sex part going the way you need it to, you can leave your sister alone, okay? The sister, you got too much pressure on your sister. You need to go over there and put some pressure on that man, okay?
Listen, and she be like, girl, we on FaceTime every day, all day, and I'll be like, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like walking down the block to your house.
Lord,
ain't nothing
I
like spending the
understand.
night if I wanted to.
Yeah, but there's nothing like initiating a good time.
I'm going to get it.
So we going to balance this out.
I'm going to get it right. See, if I was drinking, I know how to initiate.
Don't drink.
But of course not.
Because we not going all the way through this thing. We
Girl,
saying, but the blood of Jesus, we going to be good.
But I'm just saying that's
your reaction.
You know
I know.
Like,
of course.
It sucks, but I'm going to get it.
No, it doesn't suck. It's fine.
I'm going to get it.
Now, I want you to tell the person who's sitting out there who's like, okay, they done talked all of this and I've been, emotional and inspired, but I don't know what to do, right? Mm-hmm. And the services are not the same.
Right.
What do you tell the person? They like, but I think I'm ready, and I'm just trying to figure out what's a step. Your foot has to go out a little bit.
Ain't no think. That's where you mess up. Mm-hmm. Ain't no thing.
You gotta know.
And you gotta know.
The decision has
wholeheartedly.
to be made.
You gotta meet it. See, your mind, your body, and your soul. It may sound cliche. That all gotta line up. Mm-hmm. Gotta line up. Mm-hmm. You can't say out your mouth, "I'm ready," but here you nervous, and then here you like, Everything gotta be like, we good. We got this. Because when I woke up December 18th on that floor in that same fetal position, 2015. I woke up like, I got this. Hey, family, I'm an addict. I'm a dope fiend. I'm a crackhead. I'm an alcoholic, and I need help. I'm here to get my life together. I was no longer the drug dealer. I was no longer, because I caught a case. No.
The facade was gone.
The facade was gone. Everything, because I meant everything wholeheartedly, and he knew. Mm-hmm. And my higher power knew. My higher power, which is God, he knew that I was ready. So you can't think.
So once you got your mind, body, and soul all in alignment, that you ready. Because that's the same for me.
Yes.
Anybody could say whatever. Mm-hmm. When I said I'm done, I was done.
Right.
What's the next step?
I would say go to treatment. Mm-hmm. I would say stay to treatment until they kick you out.
Right. Don't try to run.
Like they did me. There's nothing else they could do for me. I was there
treatment.
17 months. Go to treatment. Go.
Do you think in between there, it's like figuring out who your person is so that you have somebody to help you with accountability?
I would say alignment, your person, treatment, and get ready to face the guilt, the demons,
the mental health,
your triggers.
Because it does not go sober, happy.
No. Oh, no. Man, I had to deal with the fact that I left 3 children in 3 different places. I had to deal with the fact that I had sex with this man for $1. I had to come to the realization that I spent almost $3,000 with this one person one night, with this one drug dealer, and when I had $7, he told me, yeah, but you gotta give me oral first. No problem. Like, I had to deal with those things. You know the street where you park your car, the tire, it's that little bit of water. I had to drink that. I ain't bathe, even when I had my menstrual. I put a t-shirt down there or tissue and keep going and still having sex with men. So I had to deal with all of that. That was my guilt. I stole from my kids. I stole from my sister. I cursed God. I cursed my parents. I vowed I would never speak to my father again. How dare you tell me I can't come there? Now realizing that, baby, if one of my kids came to me today telling me that addict, telling me that they got to come live with me? No, baby. No, baby. Because it's
Can't
either
say
me or you. And in recovery, you got to be selfish.
And
Now,
we
can I-
always in recovery.
I'm in recovery to the day I die.
We're in recovery.
To the day I die. So when you can face your demons and your guilt and know what you about to go do,
That's when you're
got
on the
it.
other side.
You got it.
That's when you're on the other
Nobody
side.
could tell me, yo, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm 41 years old. I have no sexually transmitted diseases. I own my
God
own
is
business. I got a great relationship with my children. I'm in a relationship.
And you
I started
started
my
a boat. That's
nonprofit.
right.
I'm helping others in my community. I don't just talk about it. I'm there. Like, I'm out there. We got the grill out. October 11th, next week, on the 11th. I'm outside on Tremont. We got the grill out there. Food, cases of water, juice, clothes, coats, everything. And this is stuff that people gave me, stuff I bought. I got my team out there.
And here you are being interviewed
And
by
then here
folks
I
who
am,
want to
right.
hear the story.
Right.
Well, honey, child, that's all I can say. I just want everybody else to hear it because I heard it, and I knew that you need to have
God is real.
platforms.
He's definitely.
Yes.
Because without him, I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
See, when I was hung off that roof, when I was being raped inside of mine, even then, he carried me through. You know how many people died from those situations?
Yes.
You know how many people been let go of them rules when you steal them $1,000 packs?
It's a fact.
And
know how
you
many-
still here.
I'm still here.
And the kids are still
And the
here.
kids. You know
And
how
your
many
sister
people?
is still here.
Yes, my
Lord
sister,
God.
man.
I want to have your sister on one day with other people who have helped folks
Right.
survive
Right.
and
Just
come
talk
up
about
out of
that.
that.
Because
That's
even my
important.
father has his person, and his person is his sister.
Oh yeah, them sisters are serious. That
Yes.
My sister was calling me a few minutes
Because
ago.
and that's the thing too. And I really want to, if I can, I just want to say to my parents, because you know when you're younger, it's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
You didn't raise me, or you didn't. There's no instructions on this. And today I can say that I wholeheartedly forgive my dad with everything in me because he did nothing wrong. When he got married, did that hurt? Yes, because I always wanted my parents together. But my mother wasn't ready to be a mother or a wife. And to him. You know what I mean? It's no instructions. It's no, you don't know how to do this. And I thank him for not just ripping us apart and just saying, y'all got to come live with me now because I'm married, excuse me. Because that probably would have broke us. And everything happens for a reason. He did the best he could. And the best he could was saying, you know what, let them stay where they at. They're more happier there. They laughing there. You know, my grandmother not knowing my trauma, you know, not knowing what happened to me. Am I going to tell her? Yeah. I'm going to tell her out my own mouth. She be on social media, so she see that. One of my captions yesterday was, I met a pedophile when I was a child. And she didn't comment or nothing on it, but I know she going to ask me. And I'm going to have that conversation with her. You know what I mean? But it's real. And like I said, nobody wakes up and say, today I'm going to use heroin. I'm going to become an alcoholic and a crackhead. Today I'm not going to bathe for the rest of my life while I'm in these streets. I'm going to have children and leave them. We don't say that. Something happened to us.
Yeah.
And it's one pill or one thing or one time and then two and then five and you just don't even really
Whether
know
somebody
how far it's
spiked
going.
you, whether you hiding from a trauma, something. Somebody gave it to you, it doesn't matter. We didn't wake up and say that's what we wanted to do today.
Well, thank you, Sheryl. We appreciate you for
Thank
telling
you.
your story,
Thank
for
you.
coming
Thank
to
you.
be with us on the TMI show. I think that people, what I know is that there are a lot of people who are suffering who don't talk about it and they don't look like they're suffering. And that feels like my ministry now because when I look back at photos now, I know that, man, I remember that. You know, I know where I was. But most people had no idea. And so I feel like my ministry is not so much in the person who is at rock bottom, right? Like that's a part of it. But I feel like my ministry is in the people who are just holding on, using and going to work and, and trying to mask it. Because those people cannot be ignored or left or abandoned just because you're not on the street.
Right.
No, but they could be. Right. And even if not, there's a on the street that goes on inside of you,
of course,
that you may not be able to articulate. And so I feel like that's where my ministry is, right in that spot where you think you're different or better than somebody else just because you still have your corporate job or your...
And that's the thing too. People don't understand you got to hit a rock bottom. Everybody's rock bottom ain't the same.
It's different. It looks different for different people.
Because your ministry, it could be someone that lost their job. That's their rock bottom. For me, it can be someone like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but together, with all of us putting our minds and hearts together, we can actually make a difference in this area. So.
I've helped through my social media. I have people can you help? I live in Texas. Can you help me?
Fine.
I live in Ohio. It's a lady that's in Ohio. She got 2 years clean. December 30th, she inboxed me and said, hey, remember you put me in that rehab? You called that rehab for me? Or December 30th, I have 2 years clean. I never left the rehab. These are people that just saw me on social media.
God is good. Thank you, Sheryl. We appreciate Sharel Jones. Thank you for joining the TMI
show
today.
Tell them how to follow you. Where you at?
I'm on Instagram at I made it out 081315, and I'm on Facebook at Sharel Jones and TikTok as well.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm always answering, so don't worry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Much love and respect to Sharel Jones, man. Just her story, her honesty, her just sharing all of that with us. And I think that's what it takes to save lives, is transparency like that. Because when you hear someone who is that transparent and you can identify with that, because a lot of us are ashamed to go through these and don't want to see it. And when you hear someone who's saying, I've been through that, and it's just
bottoms out. Yeah.
And that's pretty much what the name of the organization, I used to be you, so she can identify. So just her story alone is painful, but it's triumphant. Like all the way to the bottom. Like
it's so funny that we're saying the bottom, and I think she agrees that she went low as can go, but there's still another level beneath even that, and that would probably be the point of no return. So she literally wasn't even all the way at the bottom because she was able to turn it around. So many people, their bottom is, that's it. They're done. They never are able to recover. And either they still living that way today or they're not living at all.
And the crazy part is the average person would have said she's not redeemable.
I mean, you all have seen the pictures. If you're listening and you have not seen the pictures, you should check her out on her Instagram or other places that she's on social media, because the pictures are startling.
Yeah.
They're truly startling. I mean, she looks exactly like those that we see on our streets that people get out their way when they're coming. People don't want to be inside. I mean, she's talking about not bathing her body.
For months. For a whole pregnancy. Like, that's crazy to me. I can't even imagine that, but that's real. That's some people's reality. But I give her so much love.
That's depression. That's not just drug abuse.
Yeah, it's a culmination of everything. But she overcame it, and she was here with us, and she lived to tell the story.
She did, and she used to be me, and I used to be her, and there's so many out there that's living through it, or they've been able to get to the other side. So I would say one thing. I think people probably feel like I beat the dead horse because I'm always kind of introducing this topic to the show. But I know surely that there are many people who need to hear what she had to say.
Me too, and I'm glad she said it. Well, my I don't get it for this week is very simple. I don't get how the hell Donald Trump thinks that he's supposed to get Nobel Peace Prize. I just don't get it. I like listen to what I'm saying. Like when you look at what Donald Trump is, there's nothing peaceful about him. He's made enemies out of our allies. He has bombed ships in the water, just people that they might have had drugs, might not have had, completely just bombed them. The man has changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Like, there's nothing that's peaceful about Donald. Donald Trump just said himself the other day that he don't think he's making it to heaven. Like, nah, I don't think I've done enough to like. How do you think that you're supposed to get a Nobel Peace Prize, but you don't even think that you've done enough to get into heaven? Like, it's crazy to me. Like, we are in bizarro land. I feel like we just in a place now where it's upside down world. Like, and people are really acting like this is. We might as well give Netanyahu the Nobel
they
Peace
might.
Prize.
Oh,
We
they
might as
might.
well. Like, these is complete. What people have done the most heinous shit. People got 26 sexual assault cases, all type of shit. But we gonna give them the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, in what world does any of this shit even make sense? Like, for real, like, the American people have to look, because I know outside, this is what I tell people all the time. Outside of America, people are looking at America like we got to be losing our mind. They are really looking like it's no way that y'all think that what's going on in there is okay. Like, this shit, because I know how I would be looking. And I'm inside here looking at it saying to myself, this shit don't make sense. The day that Donald Trump receives a Nobel Peace Prize, they might as well not never give it out again.
Well, they're saying the same thing.
It's completely,
but they're saying the same thing. They're saying if he doesn't get it, then it has lost all its value.
But that's what I'm saying. And it might lose it. I'm just trying to say, if you considering giving Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, then we already lost. It's nothing else, because that means that there's no criteria for it. It means if you yell long enough, you get enough people to advocate. I've never in history, nobody has advocated for themselves to get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, you're saying that, but we don't know, because you know.
When they said they were.
See, the thing is, Spice, the reason why I'm very careful about saying nobody about anything.
Well, I Googled it, and they have, when I Googled it and I put it in ChatGPT, there has never been any leader that has advocated for themselves to get the Nobel Peace Prize. It just
I don't know, because it might have.
So y'all find it, then cool. But I'm trying to talk about based on my studies and my research, because I was like, I don't even understand why somebody would think that makes sense. It's like it's supposed to be a humble award. It's somebody who's doing things because they want peace. You know, they want to make sure that things is right. You don't say every day, I want the Nobel Peace Prize. I want the Nobel Peace Prize. Get everybody in your cabinet. I tell them I want the Nobel Peace Prize. I should get the Nobel Peace Prize. And when you don't, you try to just discredit the award. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, listen, the person that they gave the Nobel Peace Prize to, there are Muslim advocates and organizations that are saying, CARE specifically, that are saying that this is a woman who is a Zionist who openly supports Israel. They're saying that she is tied to far right groups, right? So, you know, when far right groups support Israel, and they are self-labeled as a Zionist, and I don't know that she said she's a Zionist. I'm telling you, this is what I read. That those types of individuals are people who not so much support the genocide, but they support the genocide. That's what the reports say. So all of it, to me, doesn't make sense, right? Because you would hope that the award is being given to somebody who literally is really about peace. And if what they say about this woman, Maria Machado, is true, and I'm inclined to believe that, because she called Donald Trump to say, I got the award, but I'm dedicating it to you. And we know who he is. If that's true, then even she doesn't deserve it. So how about that? Like, we don't know. I don't know about anything anymore. But what I can tell you is that everything is upside down. It was already crooked. Now it's just completely turned upside down.
Yeah, we just in some really severe times. And I try to just deal with joy, deal with my kids, and try to, you know, focus on the things that I want to do in the world to be a better person and try to make the world better. But it's really hard not to see all this shit that's going on. And I don't know, like they always say, ignorance is bliss. And I've realized that statement in this time, because if I didn't know the shit I know now, I would be in complete bliss. I can laugh, joke, have a good time, smile. But understanding and watching the fall of America, just watching America just fall, is really crazy to me. You know,
Yeah.
really crazy. And sometimes you get levels of anxiety when you think about it, because you know that nobody else. It's like you watch the movies when the man know the end of the world is coming, and he running around, and everybody in the supermarket just living their life. And
Wow.
we like 5 days away from the end of the world, and y'all don't even get it. And I'm trying to figure out how to save this shit. I'm trying to do everything, and y'all think I'm crazy. You know, so that's who we are right now. But I'm gonna keep on working, keep on praying.
And that's it.
Just
That's
give
all
it
we
to
could
God. All
do.
I'm gonna do is just give it to God, man.
That's all we could do. Well, we give it to God, and also we work, and there's that. So,
That's it.
all right.
Well, with that being said, we come to the end of another episode of TMI. Thank y'all for supporting us. It's 5-year anniversary of the Black Effect. Shout out to Black Effect, the whole cast over there, for continuing to work with us. And shout out to our producer, Janice, who always here with us. And, you know, she's in the background making it move and groove and do what she needs to do. So we appreciate y'all for supporting us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at TMI_show. And on YouTube, TMI Show PC. I'm not gonna always be right. Tamika D Mary's not gonna always be wrong. We will both always, and I mean always, be authentic.
Peace.